Okay, so we got the New Balance Rebel V4. You're going to notice straight off the bat, it's got a totally different look to it. The big question is it better? You know, we've seen a mixed success of this model over the years. I got Elijah here. He's a product expert. We're going to learn more about this shoe. He's going to take it for a spin and see what we think. First thing is visually, it just looks super different.
Yeah,
What are your
heaps
thoughts?
of changes from the V3 at least. You're gonna see heaps of aesthetic difference in the V4 at least. I don't know, just that geometric shape just looks so crazy, hey?
Yeah, and I feel like the V2 particularly at the time was one of the last sort of lower stack
Definitely.
performance running shoes, and the most obvious change, and I think the thing that people are going to pick up on the fastest is the stack. So what is the stack?
So you got 30 in the heel,
Yep.
and then 24 in the forefoot.
Yep.
So giving you around a 6mm drop.
And so is the midsole fuel
Yeah.
cell. So it's something that I've noticed with a lot of brands now is that you know, all brands have multiple midsole materials, but and they'll print that name on the side of the product, but
Yeah.
it seems as though even though this is fuel cell, the new Super Complete V4 that we've just got that's going off is also fuel cell, but within that the compounds are different. Is that right?
No, 100%. Yeah, they're very different midsole here in the V4 at least. You're gonna get that 20% PEBA foam, which you find more in the Super Complete, and then you got 80% of that EVA foam, which you find in most of your your daily trainers, things like that.
Yep.
So you get that really nice bounce, but with that PEBA foam as well, you are gonna get a lot of that springiness, that more responsive feel in there too.
Tell me about the upper on the shoe.
Yeah, so it's gonna come with their new Phantom Fit, which is also gonna give it a lot less weight on the shoe as well. So you are gonna get a 9-gram loss from the threes as well. You are gonna need a lot more structure than the Super Complete as well.
Yep.
And a really nice gusseted tongue as well. And a padded heel counter as well, which is really nice at the back of the foot as well. So just to keep it nice and locked in. Other than that, it's I guess it's a pretty standard lacing system as well. Nothing too crazy. A lot lighter, a bit more structured, like structured mesh around the toe box as well. Slightly wider than the threes too. So if you are keen on something with a bit more of a wider toe box, not super wide, but wider than the threes, then you are gonna get that in the four as well.
Nice. Something New Balance has done so well over the years, just making their
100%,
shoes just tiniest little bit wider than you know the standard width from other brands.
Yeah.
And I just think it fits Australian feet better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Visually, I feel like it's quite tricky to tell the difference between the Super Comp, the new Elite
100%.
V4 and the Rebel.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Honestly, it pretty much looks identical, hey. Like compared to the Supercomp Elite, at least, it just looks like the same shoe, but with the carbon plate in there as well. So very good, I guess, alternative for that daily training side of things as well. If you are just looking for a training shoe for the runs, and then that transition into more of the, I guess, those faster efforts, those race efforts into the Supercomp Elite as well.
And the V2, I know so much of its success was how versatile it is.
Yeah.
With the extra stack height and more foam, do you think it's going to still be as versatile?
Honestly, I'd be keen to try on the shoe and really test it out as well. Really push paces in them as well, but then at the same time bring it down to those really nice easy paces too. Like just those cruisy paces where you just want to take it easy, I guess. But then at the same time, just because of how light they are as well, just really keen to push it as well. Key difference from the 3 as well, you are going to get a bit more of a lighter feel with a 9-gram difference, all marginal here, but a lot lighter, or slightly lighter than the 3s too.
And so who's buying it? What kind of customer are we going to see who wants this shoe?
I'd probably put this shoe in the same boat as something like a Nova Blast as well. Endorphin Speedline, that's also a very similar make in terms of the light, bouncy, responsive daily trainer, where it is relatively versatile, where you can pick them up for those harder effort runs too. So I'd definitely say if you are looking for a super versatile shoe to just chuck into the rotation for those harder runs as well, I'd definitely say this looks like it's going to be one of those shoes that'll just slide right into the rotation as well.
But an aggressive price point too.
Yeah.
Like 220. That's
220. It's really nice.
cheap.
Really nice to see.
Compared with the other things in its competitors in the market.
Yeah.
The competing models that you mentioned before, your Nova Blast, your Endorphin Speed, the sweet spot for us as a retailer with those models is that anyone can see the benefits from them. Let's take Endorphin Speed for an example. A really, really efficient advanced runner is going to almost use that like a daily trainer.
Yeah.
But then someone who maybe isn't so far down that line or new to running, that's going to be their race day shoe.
100%.
Will this fit in that category? You see that's alongside?
Good question. Honestly, I'd probably say you could, just because of how light and bouncy they are. You can probably use them for those faster, harder race efforts as well. Whether or not you're just starting out or up to those elite runners as well, it is going to be a really good shoe for them too.
Because that like being a retailer, that's I think of who's going to wear this, what kind of customer is going to appreciate it, and it sounds like and you're about to run in it, so you'll test this out. But it sounds like all the reasons people loved the V2 and the V3 are still there, arguably. It's lightweight, it's responsive, it's versatile, but by just having that little bit extra cushion and a little bit more like insurance, let's say, it's just going to appeal to a wider range of runners.
100%, yeah. Because I feel like the majority of runners now at the moment are just looking for that really nice, easy, fast shoe that they can, pretty much do anything in, to be honest. Yeah. So, and us at Pace, we're getting customers in that are always keen for a shoe that they can just use for anything.
Yep.
To be honest, so fitting in that bracket in terms of that versatile, light, bouncy trainer, which they can use for those harder runs too.
Yep.
As well as the easier, cruisier runs. Then I definitely say that this is going to be a really good pickup for them too. So,
well, currently in that category, I would say, Nova Blast, is probably the most recent launch that has the most heat around it in that category specifically.
Yeah.
So I can totally see people being in the store and comparing, 1 foot in a Nova Blast, 1 foot in a Rebel. Let's see which one is gonna stack
100%.
up. Sweet. If I was to speculate between the two, I would argue that this is gonna perform better, but not last as long. Whilst the Nova Blast, I feel like it might not have as much wow factor underfoot.
Yeah.
But it's for the category it sits in, it's durable.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so you're going to take them for a run?
Yes.
You haven't tried them on yet?
Have not tried them on yet.
And you are going to tell us more about it on the run?
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Initial thoughts, actually not too bad, hey. But yeah, from the chat earlier, I really do feel that it's nice and light on the toe. Really wide toe box as well, which I personally really like. Comparisons to the V3, you are gonna get a lot more of a stable base underneath the forefoot, which is real nice. Something that I personally really like. In terms of the upper, they have their new updated Phantom fit, which is super nice and breathable. Brings down the weight of the shoe as well, which is really nice compared to the V3 as well. I definitely say something's very similar would be the Nova Blast from Asics. Very similar shoe in terms of that light bouncy feel as well as something like your Endorphin Speed 3. I guess in terms of how you want to fit it into the rotation as well, I'd honestly say it's a super versatile shoe in terms of whether you want to, I guess, bring it up with those faster paces, up to those, those nice tempo runs as well. But then again, if you want to use it for those cruisy, easy runs too, I'd definitely say you can whack them in for that. I guess to wrap up, I reckon the New Balance Rebel V4 is something that's a great option for, whether or not you're training for your first marathon, local park run. It's a great option at a great price point as well. For me, I'm definitely keen to try them out on a bit more for a faster pace, see how they pull up. But yeah, if you're keen, definitely pass by Pace Athletic and pick yours up soon.